good Monday morning to you. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. We've got a lot to talk about again this week. Another very busy week for weather folk across eastern Ohio and western PA. A lot of rumors started over the weekend, people looking at their apps and looking at the Weather Channel and all sorts of things and seeing all sorts of craziness, especially with snow totals. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why the big snow totals are probably not going to happen, but we may have a bigger concern with ice later this week, specifically Thursday and into Thursday night. In the meantime, the story as we start the work week, it's just cold outside. Temperatures are in the single digits as of 8 o'clock this morning, but the afternoon today will be better. We're expecting plenty of sunshine and temperatures approaching freezing. We'll get above freezing both Tuesday and Wednesday. So finally, a little bit of a thaw kicking in for the first half of the week. But let's focus again on later this week, the problems that we expect. Now, the system that will become our storm is still way out here over the Pacific Northwest. There's actually not much going on across the country today. This system will start to get its act together and pull south and east, dragging a cold front, and then it'll start to tap into some Gulf moisture by the time we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And this will be a problem not only for us, but all the way down into the deep south. We're going to have problems with snow and ice starting during midweek. But our problems really start later Wednesday night into Thursday. Now, during the day Wednesday, this is the weather map for Wednesday right around midday. I think it's likely to be raining if it precipitates on Wednesday, a scattering of showers. The cold air is still well off to our north and west at this point on Wednesday, and we're in the warm sector and see this green. Yeah, there'll be some rain showers around during the day Wednesday and into Wednesday night. Now, by daybreak on Thursday, I'm going to stop the animation here at about daybreak on Thursday morning. This is where the forecast starts to get pretty tough. The farther south you are, the better chance you have of still seeing some liquid precipitation as Thursday gets underway. But the farther north you are, as the cold air starts bleeding in, and temperatures may start to fall pretty rapidly, the higher chances you have of seeing something other than rain at daybreak on Thursday. But even in areas that may see plain rain early Thursday, that might change as the day wears on, as the cold air continues pressing south and east. So in places that started the day with rain, we might start to see sleet and freezing rain as Thursday wears on, and especially Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening. We should probably see something frozen precipitation-wise just about everywhere across our viewing area. This is the weather map Thursday evening. All this pink and purple and peach and all these colors we don't like to see. This is some sort of a wintry mix. Freezing rain, sleet, maybe some wet snow mixed in as well. But I think the bigger problem for us, starting Wednesday evening, or Thursday evening, I should say, Thursday evening, and taking us into the overnight is going to be some sort of a wintry mix. And again, in areas far north, say north of Interstate 80, this problem with sleet and freezing rain might even begin pretty early in the day Thursday. But for the majority of our viewing area, this might be a problem centered on the second half of Thursday and into early Thursday night. In the meantime, all the heavy snow is likely to still be out here. So it's going to be snowing like crazy probably in Toledo and Detroit and maybe even Cleveland. But for our television viewing area, around the Youngstown area and into western parts of Pennsylvania, I think the bigger problem is going to be the icing during the day Thursday, especially the second half of the day Thursday and into Thursday night. By the time we head towards the late night hours, Thursday night into Friday morning, the storm is pulling away, and the forecast at this point is pretty uncertain as to how much moisture is still left when the cold air rushes in and the air throughout the atmospheric column is cold enough for snow. There might not be much moisture left. So this might be icing and then a brief period of light snow or flurries, and that's it, because the best moisture is pulled well away by the time the air is cold enough for all snow. That's something we don't know just yet. It's going to be possible that enough moisture is left over as the air finally cools completely Thursday late night, early Friday morning. It's possible that there's still enough moisture left over to give us a pretty decent helping of snow. That's just something we don't know just yet. So both options are kind of on the table. But either way, by Friday morning, the threat for sleet and freezing rain will be over, and it may snow a little, or it may snow a little more than a little. But the bigger problem might be the rapid freeze up. We're going to have a lot of puddles and slush And if we have a heavy freezing rain event, we're going to have a lot of ice sitting around, and then temperatures are going to crash Friday morning down into the single digits and teens, and we could have lots of problems with the rapid freeze up. And so, even though not much may be falling from the sky by mid morning on Friday, it could be a real mess out there as a result of the crashing temperatures. Now, this is perhaps a worst case scenario, but I think it's plausible at this point. Let me zoom out a little bit on this. What we're looking at here is one model projection of the amount of freezing rain across Ohio. Again, this is not a forecast, but it's a model depiction, and I think it represents kind of the high end of the range of possibilities. This model has been consistent since yesterday in trying to paint over a half an inch worth of freezing rain and sleet in a corridor roughly from Dayton to Youngstown. If this were to be right, this would be a very big problem for us, not only with hazardous travel, but with possible power outages and things like that, because this would be enough ice on tree limbs and power lines to weigh things down and cause a lot of problems. And if we have a lot of power outage problems and it gets down into the single digits and teens Friday morning, that's going to be a big, big issue. Now, a lot of people are seeing very heavy snow amounts sometimes when they look at apps and other sources, and especially over the weekend, there were some eye-popping numbers that people were sharing with me and saying, is this true? Is this true? I'm not real concerned about real heavy snow in our TV viewing area. I think the bigger problem is likely to be ice. Now, could we see accumulating snow at the tail end of this Thursday night, late Thursday night into Friday morning? Yes, but as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'd be more concerned about the stripe of heavy snow from St. Louis to Detroit to Toledo, maybe Cleveland up towards Toronto, Buffalo, places like that. So it remains to be seen how much snow we could get out of this, but I do not think it'll be comparable to what will happen off to our north and west. Real quickly this evening, we'll cover this more as the week wears on, but in addition to all the threats I've already mentioned, one other concern may be some flooding issues, especially around rivers late this week. This is how much water is currently locked up in our snowpack. Our snowpack is on average about 8 to 12 inches deep right now, and this is how much water is contained within that snowpack. This may be a little hard to see, but in most of our area, this kind of purplish color is about 2 to 3 inches worth of water locked up in that snowpack. We may see rainfall amounts Wednesday into early Thursday when things are warm enough for just rain. We might see rainfall amounts of a half an inch to an inch falling into that kind of a snowpack. We could have problems with some flooding as a result of all the melting. We could have problems near rivers with ice jams. Some of the ice will get loosened up. Some of that ice moves around then and gets banked up against the shores, and you have ice jam flooding, and that could be a concern. I don't think it's a huge concern, but it's something that we'll be certainly keeping an eye on. That threat may exist in addition to everything else late this week. Now, a brief cold shot is coming, but the pattern as we roll into February is not going to be like January, where it's just relentlessly below zero for a couple, or below freezing, I should say, for a couple of weeks at a time. This cold shot will be pretty quick by late in the weekend, early next week. We're not going to mistake this for Bermuda, but hey, this is 30s and 40s is better than days and days and days at a time with highs in the teens and 20s. We'll talk more about the longer range in future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks, my online in-depth video I post every evening. Kind of like this one. It's kind of long this morning, but a lot to talk about. We're going to be doing these videos every morning this week. In the meantime, enjoy a pretty sunny Monday, and I'll have more to say on social media throughout the course of the day.